Welcome back, Roddy. It's time now for Game 2, Na'Vi versus MVP Phoenix. Ben, Wu, what's happening? Na'Vi, they're crumbling.
QO Slark, he's well known for his Slark and his Ember, and for good reason. Not the best laning phase. He did die twice early to Dendi, but for some reason Dendi was not able to farm his Blink Dagger, and QO got a Midas and just went out of control. Out of control.
Now, I feel that was a bit more Na'Vi beating themselves to some extent. I mean, MVP played well for sure, but it definitely felt like Na'Vi, I mean, they didn't put, everything didn't fit together too well for them.
I can definitely see where they were going with the draft. It's just, I don't think they expected Viper to be that mobile early on into the game. I don't think they expected Stark to be that big of a problem when they had an LC.
And once they got to the mid game, it's like, oh, well, we're in this mid game, mid game's going poorly. Late game, we've got nothing. We've got a Bristleback. I guess if Legion Commander gets really farmed, but we didn't really see that many dual kills. We had like 1 or 2 early on, but he didn't really get that much kind of momentum
like
going
70 damage at the end, but a lot of them were on non-high priority targets. And on top of that, the axe just spinning around the Bristleback is a big problem for them.
Yeah. It's one of those kind of trade-offs you have to make as a Legion Commander, like dueling a key hero that you want to duel, which you may not get the damage for, versus getting a free, easy duel on like a support hero. It's like, you want the damage, but you also want to be able to use it on key heroes.
I feel like if the decision-making is that tough for one of the hero, I think it's an overall, there's bigger problems than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We'll see what Godz has to throw for Game 2.
Yeah, Game 2 draft. I mean, for Na'Vi, they could mix it up a little bit. I'm curious to see what MVP do. Like, for Na'Vi, maybe they leave the Warlock in the pool this time. Or do you think they're going to kind of stick to the same bans?
I would say they should. They're what, second pick this time, though? Second pick's a little bit more troublesome. I think first pick they leave Brew and they take Brew.
MVP have first pick and Na'Vi chose Radiant is what happened. So, MVP not a team that prioritizes Roshan that much. They don't generally pick Vengeful Spirits, so I think Na'Vi are quite happy to give them the dire side and take the first pick. So.
I think that MVP did a really good job of scouting out all the Roshans. Like, they were constantly around that area, and I forgot what team it was yesterday, but they just like let Roshan after Roshan after Roshan go. I was actually very surprised by that. Very aware of Na'Vi what their shenanigans were, and very good warding by the supports.
All right, we'll see what Na'Vi have in mind. Choosing the Radiant side. MVP, I think the Brewmaster ban is one of those essentials. And we'll see what happens with the Wisp. MVP Phoenix with first pick. They're a Wisp team themselves. Not quite as big as some of these other teams at the tournament. I'm curious to see if Na'Vi actually ban the Wisp or just maybe try and go up against it. They got it themselves in Game 1, but MVP, I imagine it's just to be the same thing. Magnus, Troll Warlord. Yeah, there we go. Same thing. Worked in Game 1. Let's see if it works in Game... Oh, it's not even let's see. It's like we believe it's going to work in Game 2.
The Brew's a good ban, though. I think it's a must.
The Axe. That's some respect ban towards MVP and what they did in Game 1. So MVP get Wisp. They don't want to give it to Na'Vi. They are happy. They've proven time and time again they're happy to give their opponents Wisp. They did it against Power Rangers. They're doing it today against Na'Vi, but they also will play it. Given the right opportunity, they will pick up a Wisp for themselves.
So usually you'll see one support that's good at dealing with a Wisp picked on in the first phase, like a Witch Doctor, what else? Disruptor is pretty good. I think Funnick has to be given a lot more farm. In that game, it was him versus Viper, and that's just not good for not good for Funnick at all. And it was a slow Blink Dagger, but for some reason it came out as just as slow as Dendi's, and they just can't have that. Dendi and Funnick are the playmakers for this team, and Havos kind of comes in and cleans up.
They may even need to go back to that dual lane setup where Funnick has the support of Goblek in the off lane, just to kind of guarantee
I like that a lot from them. Yeah. I think it would work really well versus MVP. But MVP has been wisening up and banning out the Abaddon in the second phase.
Ooh, Zeus gets picked up. Generally a Dendi hero. An MVP Phoenix classic. They go for the Wisp Bristleback. Generally run in the off lane for them. They were doing this a lot during the Dream League season, and it's pretty annoying, potent stuff. They'll run it against tri-lanes and just sometimes come out on top of tri-lanes with this Wisp Bristleback.
Are we going to see the return of the Elder Titan with the Zeus? Probably not. Not versus this.
Not really a Goblek pick, but possible. Na'Vi also do go for like fairly global strategies. Problem is you can't really pick a Spectre into a Wisp Bristleback. If that was something they were maybe thinking of doing, like a Spectre Zeus. The Nature's Prophet's still available, though, if they want the Nature's Prophet ultimate with the Zeus ulti. And there's your Abaddon ban. I think realizing that Na'Vi this time around, they don't have the Wisp. They could be looking to do some kind of 2-1-2 setup with Disruptor plus a Vost at safe lane, and then Abaddon plus your Weaver, your Clinks, whatever it may be for Funnick in the off lane.
They severely lacked damage last game, and I think Zeus is I think he does probably the highest damage in almost every single game, aside from Venomancer. So it's a nice pickup for them. Good for Dendi.
Yep. All right, well, we'll see what the Na'Vi transition into as far as their picks go. For MVP Phoenix, this Wisp Bristleback is normally a less kind of, well, they still teamfight a lot, but it's less of that kind of 5-man push, especially when they won't be getting a Brewmaster. But they are on the dire side. A TA ban, another kind of respect ban towards QO. We'll see if they take out the Slack as well. I feel it's worth taking out the, I guess it's the Ember Spirit or the Slack here. Which of those two would you prefer to take out of his? What do you think's more potent?
Both don't fare too well versus Disruptor. I think Ember's a little bit more scary.
Yeah. Zeus does burst down his Flame Guard pretty quickly, but
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, they're both difficult.
Maybe they're just happy to let MVP pick up either of them, since, as you said, Disruptor does well against both. Zeus does pretty well against them.
Yeah, I think they'll... I'm trying to think of what they would ban out.
Juggernaut, another hero that both teams run a bit of. We didn't talk about it before in the pre-show, but something MVP run as a support, as a carry. Na'Vi run it as a carry for her Vost every now and then. We haven't seen Juggernaut come out just yet. Oh, Void Ban.
They need a hero to assassinate the Wisp in the fights, though. So a hero with a little bit higher mobility would be nice.
They have, yeah, that was where Na'Vi got screwed over game 1. It was the Blinking Axe as well as the Blink Slack. No good kind of blink past catch you heroes yet on the Na'Vi side.
The roles have been reversed. Lion for Na'Vi, Wisp Bristle for MVP. Lion with Zeus, great at just killing an EO. I think Finger and Zeus ult is almost enough to just burst down his entire HP pool.
Yeah. And there's your Jug. So MVP, unlike Na'Vi, generally run the Bristleback in the off lane. We'll see if that's still going to be the case here with the Jug pickup, which does suggest Jug will be your safe lane farmer, although could be a support. Reason plays in that 4-position role every now and then. A lot of kind of AoE damage and nuke damage, so Healing Ward going to be pretty useful this game, I feel.
So what is Funnick going to play? Is it going to be like an LC again? Decent versus Bristles? So-so versus Jug?
10 seconds
or more damage? I still want the Timber. Timber, please. Versus Bristle and Neo. What else does he play? Puck? I don't know. It seems like Puck is just the curse of all the CIS teams.
At this point, it's like not even about how confident you are in the heroes. It's just like it keeps losing. You look at the stats. It's like, well, we think it's a good hero, but the stats are there. This hero had like a 38% win rate over like hundreds of games coming into the tournament. At the tournament itself, it's won 1 game out of like 10. I think just looking at that, you got to say, let's just stop. Let's just not pick it. Let's.
Also, I think they need like anti-BKB, anti-magic immunity.
Yeah,
because everything is.
Void would have been a really nice pick, but Legion Commander, as you mentioned, still available.
LC or Timber, I think would.
I think LC is good here. You just have to make sure you get Havos like a good, stable kind of late game carry with that. But I guess that's the other big question. Whoa!
Oh yeah, the Funnick
Doom. Okay.
It's good.
I think this is an underpicked hero this tournament. Doom is being completely kind of forgotten for some of these other offlaners that we're seeing. I mean, the Puck, most noticeably, the Batrider, I think, is also a little underpicked, but we've seen Fire really use it to great effect, but Doom's being completely forgotten.
Good versus Jug. At the same time, I mean, if you don't do...
10 seconds.
I guess they have a lot of control in team fights, though. One hero taken out by Blink Hex, one hero taken out by Doom. So it's a lot of damage to deal with, and MVP is very important for the Healing Ward, I think, and Wisp play to stay alive. They do have the measures to deal with this mass amount of burst from Na'Vi.
What's it? Even the Doom, like if it's on, you've got Wisp relocate out, you've got Jug Healing Ward. If either of those two things is available, the Doom not guaranteed to get kills this game. So not going to be the easiest game for Doom to secure kills. He's got a lot of backup from the Zeus ulti. We've got the Disruptor as well to try pull people back with the Glimpse, and we still need Havos here as the last pick for Na'Vi. I don't imagine this is a safe lane farming Doom. The hero just seems to have too many counters to giving him complete farm priority, but Shadow Shaman. This is, I think, the first Shadow Shaman pick of the tournament, and kind of forgotten support hero.
One that MVP Phoenix likes, and there's a lot of push. Bristle is great at sieging towers. He does a lot of damage, and you don't really want to go on him. Juggernaut also with the healing ward, Shadow Shaman with the plague wards, and Na'Vi don't really have that much anti-push, not too much wave clear at all. Decent amount of AoE, I suppose, but some of them pretty darn hard to hit.
Well, last ban is going to be a Warlock. Worried about that MVP 5-man push, and with a Shadow Shaman, Serpent Wards, Jug Healing Ward, with good reason, I still feel like there's good substitutes. It's not as potent as the Warlock, but just going for the Viper again, I feel really suits MVP. There's a lot of magic
Viper
damage.
Would be really good.
Like, Corrosive Skin helps so much. It's a mech buyer for the team, which you don't really have. Bristleback and Whisk. Whisk gets a slow mech. Bristleback, you don't really want to go mech. So I feel this is a fantastic Viper game for the MVP side if that's where they want to go.
Also, should win the lane versus a Doombringer.
We'll see what they have in mind. I guess it'd be well. I think the Viper would probably have to go mid potentially against the Zeus, but even that matchup isn't too bad. Right now, Na'Vi, their last pick, Havos hero, not going to be an anti-mage. Worried about. Well, if you're going all in push, anti-mage not really a hero you think you should be worried about, but sometimes that if he gets that fast battlefield in the safe lane, you can be put under a lot of pressure with the split push coming out.
It still could be a Havos Doom. Although that would make their late game somewhat weak.
Yeah. There's just not many like really strong off-lane heroes left that can do it. Like I feel like you'd have to go for like a Nature's Prophet or an LC then, something that actually does some additional damage.
So what's it going to be for Na'Vi? I think the really hard late gamers are out of the question, though. I guess Faceless Void's been banned, Anti-Mage has been banned, Naga Siren doesn't particularly suit the rest of their lineup that well. Although I think it'd be really good at stopping their push. Good against a Wisp relocate, good at clearing out Shadow Shaman's wards, and good at isolating Juggernaut.
The Havos heroes left is like a Gyrocopter, Medusa. There's some other carries where I feel like something like a Morphling would maybe be okay, but that's just not saying Havos really plays. And Starladder,
the man.
Kind of a trending hero this tournament. NIP showcased this hero yesterday. We saw it earlier today by Asus Polar.
Not that much minus armor to complement, though.
Yeah, it's always been in heavy minus armor strats, and also generally like with some protection, like a Dazzle with Grave, heal, as well as the Shadow Wave. There's not the best AoE lockdown to kind of back him up. There's no... I mean, the Lion Impale is about all you've got here.
I think he's pretty good for his Juggernaut, though.
Yeah.
You can just easily kill him in almost a duration of a Slithering Crush.
Okay.
That one armor nerf.
Making all the difference.
I still think Viper's really good. You called it, and I think it would be amazing for them. However,
they
will go with
hero.
a QO. There's a lot of magic bursts for PA. This is not an easy PA game. Finger, Zeus, Doom.
He does normally rush BKB, like first item BKB. Doesn't go for any drums, doesn't go for any Helmet of Dominator. It's just straight BKB, which you've got to do in this game especially.
Still, a lot of heroes for Doom to kind of tackle, and a lot of bursts for Starladder to deal with. If you go on Jug, Phantom Assassin might crit you while you're sprinted. Bristle, always going to have a lot of damage too. So, yeah, I think it's a really difficult Starladder game and a really difficult Phantom Assassin game.
Well, both carries going to struggle. This is looking as far as Bristleback, though, he's got the Wisp support. This could be a fantastic Bristleback game, but it looked the same in game one for Havos. He got all the farm, couldn't kind of transition later on into the game, though. So we'll see how things go here in our game two. MVP leading 1-0. Bit of an upset in game one as far as most people are concerned. And it's going to be Na'Vi on the Radiant side. Funnick leading the charge in the off lane on the Doombringer. In the mid lane, it's going to be Dendi on the Zeus. We are going to have Lion being played by Goblack on a support role. Vengsker on the Disruptor. Havos on the Starladder. On the Dire side, it's MVP Phoenix. The Korean squad with a 1-0 lead going to have Forev on the Juggernaut. March on the Bristleback. Reason playing the IO. QO on the Phantom Assassin. And finally, Heen going to be on the Shadow Shaman. Paul's going to resume things here. Both Reason as well as QO looking to rush a bottle. You definitely want to secure a bounty rune for one of the two here so they can get that instant bottle coming out. And MVP straight down bottom lane. They're going to look to kind of secure the Radiant jungle, maybe drop some wards down, and could be possibly looking at a first blood if Na'Vi get out of position.
It's a dangerous position. I don't know. I don't think they can kill Havost.
He's positioned well that he'll see them from far away. He's not going to get like caught with a hero coming around the corner. Further around, Vengskor and Reason trading blows a bit. Shouldn't see any action here. March still holding to that skill point. If someone gets close enough for a goo, he may go for it, but for now they just drop down a ward blocking the pull, which Lion does have sentries for, so should be an easy D ward. But we've seen D wards on this safe lane pull camp fail and really cripple teams in these. If you're tri-lane versus dual lane, I feel like the pull cap is essential.
Yep. Definitely think so. So it looks like Rune will go to, I think both MVP, or MVP will get both runes.
Wisp gets one, can PA, and it's going to be 4F game the other. PA mid lane already, and Doom positioned on the, hiding in the trees here. He's just looking to get an early Devour off, doesn't want to get spotted, and should not be getting found here as, yeah, him and the Shadow Shaman don't see each other.
So let's see. Godblack will drop the ward.
Yep.
Won't see the ward yet, so 30-second spawn will not be with them. However, should be back up in time for the minute spawn.
Yeah. Body blocks the medium camp, so he doesn't even know if that spot's... Sometimes you see ward blocks onto this medium camp, but he kind of blocked it himself, so he doesn't even know if that's blocked, but there we go. Basic observer ward spot. Should have maybe hit that one in the trees or something, but Na'Vi going to be happy that they get the early D ward. So the 1 minute pull will be available.
And Funnick just completely starting off in the opponent's jungle.
That's a value creep to get too. The Dark Troll Trapper has the skeletons. Also gets an easy level 2 off of that. Bottom lane, they've gone in. They want March on the Bristleback. Here comes the Wisp. It's too late. Na'Vi with a tri-lane. He can't heal him up there. Wisp has a bottle, but he's full HP, so he can't actually heal the Bristle.
Very nice level 1 glimpse coming out from Vengskor to secure this. Yeah, he actually did block the camp with his sentry ward. Most of the sentry ward placement is just a tiny bit lower.
Well,
now they will find Funnick.
Okay, they see him. He's almost level 3 already. So Na'Vi, as far as the offlane goes, getting... Well, it's not even the offlane. It's the jungle with Funnick. Has a Devour in a couple more seconds. May look... Or doesn't actually have a big creep to Devour for the time being in that far west camp. Again, March taking a lot of harass down here. Reason's nearby. He's getting himself intentionally low using the overcharge. Down to 380 HP. Just so he can heal up March should he actually get initiated on once more. There we go, going to tether in. Look to maybe kill Vengskor. They've got the goo. Vengskor in trouble, going for the 2-minute rune. It's a bounty rune. Glimpse back on a March. That should save his life. And Reason now kind of caught alone here. He's going to be able to bottle up the bounty rune. Could get chased down here. Voss is going to look to get the stun. Won't get it. Reason tethered past him. And the crush not going to get thrown from a Voss. Now he's in trouble. Mart's going to turn this one around with the goo. He's getting healed up as well as additional mana from the Wisp, but the creeps are blocking him. Oh no, those creep blocks could have probably got that kill if not for it. That looked really dicey there. Meanwhile, mid lane, PA with the help of Heen gets a kill on Dendy's Zeus. Oh dear. Action all over the place here in game 2.
Funnick really low on top. Can die to a spin coming out from Forev any time now, but yeah, Forev.
Havos there maybe could have hit the crush like as Wisp was
yeah,
like
I thought
through.
He was going to go for that.
Yeah, it's not exactly an easy play to make, but it feels like something you should at least go for. Try hit the crush while he's tethering.
I mean, he has like 9 med charges. It's not like mana is an issue for him.
Yeah. Because he hits that, it's definitely a kill. I guess Havos would end up in a bad spot versus the Bristleback, but I think he gets out of there.
He has sprint. He had sprint on.
Yeah. And as you said, all the stick charges he's now accumulated, up to 10 stick charges. You have these charges, you want to be getting aggressive and using them. Bottom lane, they're going to go in. No Wisp inside, he's TPing in now. Glimpse back, there's your crush. Here comes Wisp, he's overcharging, needs to tether. Tether's a bit late here. Avos now with 3 quill stacks. Going to look to turn this one around. Reason needs to overcharge the heal as well. March going to get 1. Can he get more? Vengskor could be in trouble. The glimpse is on cooldown. March looking for all 3 if he can get it. The crush catches out 2, but they've got to run. Vengskor in trouble. Can they get Avos as well? The movement speed not quite there to keep up. March wants this kill, though. A triple kill would be insane. Havos, just 2 cool stacks, and it looks like they're not going to be able to chase him down there, but 4-minute rune coming up soon. Reason walks into the cold arrows. Get past, get out of there. Here's your 4-minute rune. And that's going to heal up both the Wisp as well as the Bristleback. Even takes another shot here as there we go, bounty rune available. Tether over, bottle up. Bristleback and Wisp going to be both full HP off of this. This is the power of the Wisp Bristleback.
They made a big mistake by letting them get that 2-minute rune. I think that's what set this sequence of events off in the bottom lane. And they just have too much sustain for the Bristleback, and they can't get past him to isolate the Wisp. Still, they do have the tools to deal with him later with a glimpse, but they also haven't been able to utilize the pool.
It feels MVP are winning all 3 lanes, essentially. 4F in this 1v1 matchup has a huge CS advantage. QO is even on CS, has the kill on Dendi, though. And Dendi just went back to Fountain, so he's not having the best time as far as getting harassed out of this lane. Didn't get any runes there. QO got the DD top. Bounty rune bottom was taken by the Wisp, so really bad start for Na'Vi here in Game 2.
It's not looking good.
Ooh, they're going to do some bottle tricks at mid. QO going to get the free bottle refill, and Reason also heals him up a bit himself, so QO, free bottle refill, does mean Wisp is not at the bottom lane. If Na'Vi realize this, they can go in the Bristleback. The problem is, Wisp just has to stay hidden off the map. You don't know where he is. They're going to now go in for a kill. Now they know Wisp is mid, but Dendi doesn't really have a good escape. He tries to fight QO, needs another bolt, going to juke into the trees, turns around with an arc light, and QO needs some evasion, won't get it. 1-for-1 trade, possibly a 2-for-1. The tower hit, going to bring down the Wisp. Dendi with a double kill. Still no XP for that. Top lane, Omni Slash Juggernaut going to bring down the Doom. 4Rev with Phase Boots over Venom gets another kill. You know, Dendi gets a 2-for-1, but I don't even know if that's a good trade because he got no XP. It's like an even trade, if anything.
Yeah, I think Phantom Assassin is almost level 6, and Wisp is getting so many levels off that. It's just so important that he gets experience on these early kills, and things, again, not going well for Na'Vi. 3,000 gold lead for MVP. They keep on getting the Ancient stacks, too.
XP as well. Everything's just dipping downwards. And, oh, by the way, Go Black, yeah, that's on a rune you can get. Keen as well as March here, ready to punish that, and Haste Rune going to be left for probably the Wisp, who's coming in with his bottle, will heal up the mana of March, and well, actually, no, going to heal up the mana of Heen, and then take this Haste Rune. It's one of those, it's a weird thing. Like, you see a 2-for-1 trade for Dendi, man. It's like, oh, Dendi won that exchange. It's like, well, not really. He's still just now got his level 6. Has got Arcane Boots, but it's a level 6 PA, and Wisp also level 4.5 now.
Now 3 heroes in the bottom lane.
Experience-wise, MVP are doing fantastic, and yeah, looking for something at bottom lane.
They really need their ultimates. Doom, not level 6 yet. Starladder, not level 6. He's not even level 5. Lion and Disruptor struggling mightily.
It feels like MVP doing a really good job keeping their supports hidden off the map. Na'Vi constantly kept guessing. The Wisp shows up mid, they had no idea. The Shadow Shaman showed up at the bottom rune. Go Black had no idea when he was looking to claim that bottom rune. And now top lane, Heen comes up here, has not been spotted by a ward. Na'Vi's vision just isn't spotting any support rotations right now. The good news is they abandoned the top lane. Otherwise, Heen was looking at a potential kill with 4Rev up top. Looks like they may even give the lane to Heen. Try to get his level 6 now. Juggernaut at the stage of the game where he can rotate in the jungle. And this is one of the powers of the Jug where we're seeing more of this hero. It gets an early kind of max blade dance or even just the 1-1-1 build with lifesteal, and then you give the safe lane to a support who can benefit from a fast level 6.
Looks like Funnick trying to bait out a QO initiate in the mid lane, but he is not biting.
Glimpse going to be pushing Bristleback back into the Starladder. The Crush is there. Wisp nearby, though. It doesn't have too many bottle charges. And Go Black spotting out the Wisp, realizing that he's about to go for a tether. Alerts his team that now may not be the time to fight, but 8-minute rune going to come up. Bottom lane will go to the Wisp, who fills up his bottle. Top lane goes to Dendi Zeus, a regen rune.
Still, I mean, MVP constantly getting the runes for EO, just lane secured for them in this bottom lane. 4Rev now rotating in with an Omni Slash up.
Bottom lane, March getting the goose up. Vangsgirl could be in some trouble now. 4Rev going to go Omni Slash through Havos, and Havos with Sprint is going to be in trouble. Omni Slash combined with that, and Zeus, meanwhile, dying at mid lane. QO just solo killed the Zeus. Am I seeing this correctly? Oh, boy. What is going on, Na'Vi?
Things are getting mighty ugly. I mean, their comeback mechanic, I mean, isn't really there. Starladder really needs a blink, but he's not actually going for it. He's going for an Ogre Club instead.
TP's back in. They want to fight bottom lane. Havos going to sprint forward. Has a crush. He's got to find the Wisp, though. March is not the target you want. There's no bottle charges left. That's the good news. Tether forward with the heal here. March pops the magic stick, and he's going to get doomed up. Nice time for Funix to show up. Dendi as well. Going to blow up the Wisp here. They've got to finish off March, though. This Doom is not going to last too much longer. Dendi needs a bolt. March trying to get out of range will not be able to do so. Double kill for Dendi. Meanwhile, on the backline, Savos is low himself, but QO, his rotation not going to accomplish too much. Treads, Ogre Club, he's tanky, but not a fight he can take. Top lane, getting pressured, though.
It will be that BKB rush that you talked about for PA, and I mean, the supports are just giving so much free room on MVP. With all the bounty runes and all the just runes on bottom. Shadow Shaman almost level 7, taking down a solo tower of his own, not really scared of anything coming out from Na'Vi since they had to throw 5 heroes on bottom to repel that 3. And even then, the tower is going to get denied.
Well, the times are not as they once were for this Na'Vi squad. Bottom tier 1 also going down. Does get denied, but at this point, it's still another tower and some money going MVP's way. Havos forced to do just some casual jungle farm here as he's feeling like he's in a tough spot. Reason. Enjoy it with March. They've got a big, fatty Ancient stack here, and it looks like they want to try and farm it with a level 6 Bristleback March. Not quite got the farm to level of hope for. Actually taking quite heavy damage here from these Ancients, but Wisp healing him back up and using that Quill Spray. Only with the level 1 point in the Bristleback, which is where he does take quite a bit of damage here. This is almost a completed mech after this, I feel. It'll be very close at least.
That's really scary. They've been focusing all their efforts on March, and with this, I mean, I don't really know how they cope with him. Lion's not high enough level to kite him. We're only talking about level 1 Hex and level 2 Earth Spike. And then Disruptor, I mean, Glimpse, you ideally like to Glimpse during relocates, but if they just walk in with Bristle and Wisp, it's not really that big of a deal. I
feel like once Q gets his BKB, MVP are just going to constantly fight. Omni Slash is going to destroy, be it Starladder, Doom, Zeus, whoever. QO with a BKB, he just blinks on Dendi or the Lion, anyone. He just gets easy kills with this BKB. I don't think he's going to mind it getting down to a 5-second BKB fast. He just wants to get MVP a huge advantage using it, and I think that's exactly what they can do.
Forev, Omni Slashing gets caught in the static field.
Glimpse back, Zeus ulti. 10 HP Vengscore will survive. Meanwhile, top lane, they've gone in. They found Funix here. It's the Wisp Bristleback relocate. March, it's going to kill him soon. 2 seconds left on the relocate. Funix may just leap behind March. He doesn't get the kill. Oh. Could have maybe left behind the Bristleback, but was probably a bit worried about March's safety if he gets left alone there with heroes rotating in. So played it safe and didn't get the kill in the end.
And now they ping out Roshan while concurrently taking out the mid T1.
I don't think they can. I mean, they can with Jug respawn, but it's going to be tricky. They're going to leave the Serpent Ward to try to finish off the tower. Hope it doesn't get denied. Gets the last hit. Nice attack animation canceling there from Heen. And the Serpent Wards will get farmed by the Na'Vi side, but it's so hard to defend Roshan when you don't have any tier 1 towers now, because someone's going to have to push out the top lane, and then as soon as MVP see that, they make their way into Roshan, and you can't TP anywhere near the pit from the Radiant side.
Oh, easy D-ward. Immediate D-ward. And now Na'Vi playing with no vision. Their side of the map is nearly black. They have no idea what MVP are up to.
They see nothing in their own jungle. They don't see Roshan. They don't see the Dire jungle. They just see wherever the creep waves are. Luckily, right now, the creep waves are fairly far pushed out, but it is Roshan o'clock for the MVP side. And from Na'Vi's point of view, it's like they don't know if MVP are like smoking through the Radiant jungle. They're sticking together at mid lane. They're concerned about where exactly MVP are and not feeling confident they can take this fight. The mech timing on the Bristleback, another annoying thing for them to deal with, as Zeus ulti will come out. Scout how low Roche is, but Na'Vi just too far away right now.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
That pretty much secures PA's BKB.
Top lane, Doom was used on for it, but he survives it.
Dire's bottom tower.
While that Roshan was going down, it looks like Forev said, that's okay. I can survive this. Going for a 1-4-4 build. This is not the common build at all. Normally you see either more stat points or, I mean, just generally more you see more stat points.
He doesn't need to do that much damage just because he already has PA and Bristle to do the damage. I think the max healing ward is really good here. It's really good versus Doom, really good versus Zeus.
Oh, absolutely agree there. So MVP in a pretty good position now with Aegis. They can look to start taking some more objectives. All the tier 1 towers on the map have been claimed, and PA's BKB coming out, so this is the time to try and fight and 5-man probably. Cure will get a 14-minute rune, and fingers crossed for a DD rune perhaps, as MVP will be looking to make a move now with their whole team ready to engage Na'Vi. No DD, it's going to be the regen at bottom.
Still struggling for level 6 on Vanscore and Godz. The MVP supports have been completely outplaying Na'Vi, not only with D-wards, but also the rotations early, finding farm.
The levels is ugly. Level 8 on all MVP heroes, level 5 on the 2 supports. Yeah. That is brutal. Mid lane, Heen actually leading the charge on his Shadow Shaman. As Dendi going to get engaged on QO, going to BKB. The Zeus ultimate does no damage there, and QO, a good BKB. He's even got the regen rune, so he can heal up off of this. Should not be looking just to throw on Aegis, and, well, the Wisp Bristleback going to force the issue on the tier 2 tower. Havos just with an Ogre Club, and Godz goes in, Impel on QO, but this is not the target you want, not when he's got an Aegis. Doesn't matter if his BKB is on cooldown. Now he goes on to Godz. Godz has not got an escape for this one. The Stifling Dagger will finish off the Lion. Meanwhile, over near the tier 2 tower, it's Funnick being chased down himself, has a Doom, but doesn't have the mana for it. Inside his own base, being annihilated. This is just a massacre right now. QO's not done. He wants Vanescore. Double TP with a Doom buyback, but QO says, who cares? Blink out as well. Crush is not even going to land. Doesn't get used, gets held onto. Havos wants to go in, wants to fight. QO gets hit by this, but he's being healed up. Doom now comes out on the march. Can't make this up, but the healing one from the Jug. This Jug is out healing the Doom damage. Now they go into the tier 3 tower. Na'Vi in disarray.
Dare I say, game over.
This is a Starladder of 2-0s. We've had only one BO3 in 3 days go 3 games. And MVP are not done. They want to break this high ground. Healing Ward on cooldown for 18 more seconds, but they've got other sources of healing with the Wisp. Not to mention the mech of the Bristleback. Up, Axie on cooldown for 30 seconds. Decent Disruptor ultimate. They get the Jug and the Bristleback. MVP perhaps overstaying their welcome. He's going to try throw away his life for the greater good.
Oh my goodness.
And they do stay a bit too long. QO's got BKB though. Thinks about turning around, does not actually use the BKB in time, and
they better be scared.
Relocate is there.
He's going to pop it.
Havos may just die. There's the BKB. He wants Dendi. Dendi with no 4 stuff. He's getting juked here. Oh, Dendi finds a way to escape. Q are going to Blink Strike out of there. Havos wants to chase. He's got a Blink Dagger, but it gets disabled, and Havos is dead. Say it ain't so. He didn't need his Wheaties this morning.
That Stifling Dagger crit on a sprint.
Well, down goes your Starladder. PA does use another BKB charge, gets down to 8 seconds, but at this point, MVP are getting so much out of this PA BKB. They don't mind about that.
They also had a buyback on
Funnick on the Doom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that is Starladder's Blink, so that's pretty nice. They can maybe get an engage on EO and Juggernaut, but just taking so much damage right there, and PA is just diving T4s. Like, it doesn't matter. She doesn't care.
She doesn't. In the end, the Jug and the Bristleback did care a bit. They got taken out.
And Doom is just not doing enough damage. He uses ulti, and
it did nothing.
It really didn't do anything.
MVP did. It does show that once that healing ward expired, MVP should have maybe backed off a little bit. They kind of overstayed in the Radiant base with no healing ward, no mech, and it looks like he
has this Blink Dagger.
Yeah, almost. By the blink, by the blink, by the blink. Yes, just barely.
Got it.
Easy smoke gank tank.
Na'Vi have no control over the Rosh pit, though. I don't think they can prevent PA from getting another Roshan, especially without BKBs. They need BKB on Starladder, they need BKB on Doom, and even then, they still have to worry about the physical damage from the Bristle and the Jug, and their supports are just going to flop.
And MVP have picked up a Vlad's on the PA, so going ultra, kind of mid-game items here. They want to fight and fight now. Bristleback going to be going for the Crimson Guard for the team. Does have a Vanguard. Could just be the Vanguard.
Going on Dendi.
Oh, the blink in with a BKB. Dendi's going to force after the high ground and TP out. Nice moves from Dendi there. Havos, he's been abandoned. Has a BKB expiring now. The crush will come. Havos may go for the blink out. And it looks like QO. Hex, Impale to follow. No
they have to
finger
watch out
of
for
death,
the relocate.
Yeah, no finger yet. It looks like bottom lane. That's where MVP are taking the fight. They bring down the Doom in bottom lane. QO's still alive. The evasion is there. He's going to turn and fight with Heen with a Hex. Shackles, loses range. Not going to get it just yet, but it's QO with a Stifling Dagger Blink Strike. Should be able to bring down Godz. Can't even turn for the Impale. 3 for nothing in the end there. And Doom died bottom lane. That was where I think the relocate wasn't there because they relocated bottom to kill Phoenix Doom.
Dire's top tower
Yikes.
is under attack.
Na'Vi, I mean, just nothing going well for them. They're smoking, just got to support. They aren't able to get any towers. Roshan going to respawn very soon, and MVP's able to farm the whole entire
Dire's
map.
top tower
I mean,
is under
they're
attack.
even stacking the opponent's jungle right now.
Well, a big, fat, ancient stack from March here, and this is the rest of his Crimson Guard. Shadow Shaman nearby, just level 10, probably wants to leech this to get that level 2 ultimate. And
He has so much armor right now. He doesn't have to care about the slaughter at all. I think even with Amp, he's still in positive armor territory.
Yep.
Havost.
Blink Hex, Havos could be in some trouble here. Lions there with a way to cancel the shackles, but QO goes in, does not BKB in time. Doom doesn't have the ultimate though, and QO now with the backup of the Wiz should be okay. Blinks in, still holding the BKB, being very conservative with it, unlike previously, but he's kept alive, and Havos dies once more. 4 deaths on Starladder, 4 assists on Starladder. Havos is not having the easiest game.
I'm grateful.
Top lane we swing. MVP want this last tier 2 tower, just get that little gold boost, and then think about high ground later on. It feels like they may as well wait for the next Aegis if they feel worried about sieging high ground, especially without Serpent Wards. This is maybe not the best time to go sieging high ground.
Yeah, there's a DD just waiting bottom for them.
Yeah, easy Roche. Yeah, it feels like going high ground, and Na'Vi have all their ultis. Sladder's just respawned. You've got Aegis coming up soon. I guess MVP still have everything, like their BKBs, they've got their Crimson Guard, they've got their mech. They could look to poke and prod, and this mid tier 3 tower already pretty low, so it seems like that is the plan. They've got good defensive items here. March just going to lead the front line, saying, come on and doom me. They just don't want someone like the Jug getting doomed. And March does get doomed. There's Tether, Healing Ward. March can't even die. The blink in from Starladder. They don't get the Healing Ward. Phoenix chasing it around. It's being juked, though. They can't get it. Oh, my God. The heals are just insane. The Healing Ward onto the Wisp. He's tethered up as well. It's 3-4 dead. About to be 5. It's a team wipe with double buybacks on the Na'Vi side. All they got was a Shadow Shaman. And MVP onto the tier 3 tower we go. And these 2 buybacks on supports are going to do nothing. Zilch. It's looking all over for Na'Vi.
Middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They don't even have any spells when they come back. No Doom, no Zeus ultimate. No Static Storm, no Finger. This is just multiple lanes of racks, perhaps. This is the end of the road for Na'Vi.
Such a tough initiate for them. The Healing Ward was already pre-dropped, so even if they had Doom the Juggernaut, it doesn't matter. The sustain coming out from them is incredible.
I feel like Havos just had to blink and crush and then blink on top of the Healing Ward almost. Because Doom spent half that fight chasing a Healing Ward. And he was just getting baited for days. Nice 3-hero impale from Godz. This is it for Na'Vi. They've got to make something happen. Reason the first target. They bring down the Wisp. The Crimson Guard. QO has a BKB still in hand with a Vlad. Gonna have that lifesteal coming his way. Wants Dendy, another Blink Strike and Sipling Dagger up soon. He blinks in, and it's 4F helping him out with the Juggernaut. Havos now wants back in. He buys back, but the Blink Strike gonna dodge the crash, and Serpent Wards get dropped, and this means the tier 3 tower and bottom racks in trouble. Blink in from Heen. He's got Shackles as well. The Static Storm gonna make things hard here. As Godz lining up an Impale, catches out just 2. 2 still pretty good, but QO with a Blink Strike available goes in, wants Godz. Will he get him? Yes, he will. Glimpse back out as well, and March still on the front lines. They don't have an answer for the Bristleback. Na'Vi have used like 5 buybacks. Everyone's buyback on cooldown on this Na'Vi side. Not a single hero with buyback. And now Havos, he's going in. Raise your 4s. It's looking all over. Havos just TPs in and dies, and it's all over. MVP going to get the 2-0 victory here in the lower bracket, knocking out Na'Vi and getting themselves a spot in the top 4 of the Starladder Season 11. The GG hasn't been called yet, but there is just no way back into this game.
Damn, MVP looking mighty fine.
What a performance from MVP Phoenix. This was damned impressive. Na'Vi still going to look to battle this one out. QO's already got BKB again. This is the benefit of the 5-second BKB. This short cooldown. Juggernaut gets a double kill. Funnick going to go down as well, making a triple kill, and GG! Na'Vi eliminated from Starladder Season 11. They were a replacement team. There weren't high expectations of them as far as being a stand-in team, but once they had that good day 1 showing, people maybe thought this Na'Vi team had finally come back, but not the case.
MVP dominated all 3 lanes, utilized the Wisp that Na'Vi maybe hoped that they would get their hands on, and got a taste of their own medicine. The Wisp Bristle It didn't work for Na'Vi, but it certainly worked for Phoenix. That was gross.
It feels like the Wisp Bristle in the offlane is the way to go, because that tri-lane just could do nothing against the Wisp Bristleback. They got the first. I think they got this false sense of security once they got the first blood. They're like, oh, we killed him once. We've won the tri-lane. Let's just keep trying to kill him. That's like, wait a second. Wisp is now level 2, which actually is really important because he can use the overcharge as well. So just having a level 2 in the Wisp made a pretty big difference.
How far MVP has come? Last time, bottom of the barrel. This time, at least top 4.
Top 4. They'll be taking on the other winner from our first match of today. So they'll be taking on Asus Polar. A tough match for them coming up, but with them playing as well as they did, and with Asus Polar showing yesterday, there are some shakes in the Asus Polar side. So definitely a match I feel like MVP has a shot at.
I have a lot more confidence in MVP now.
It's not just about the Warlock Brewmaster push strats. There's a bit more to him. Well, we're back on the panel once again, joined by Zayuri as well as Cuddle Guy.
Hey guys, I got stuck in the sea of sad Na'Vi fans trying to get back to the desk. It's like parting the ways. Oh,
Going
boy.
through the Sea of Tears.
Yeah, the Sea of Tears, exactly right.
MVP Phoenix, man. The rebirth, if you will, after their first Starladder showing, and now they come back stronger than ever, man.
Yeah.
Easy 2-0s.
That was unexpected, to say the least. I mean, has this kind of been the tournament of upsets so far?
All my predictions have been wrong.
A lot of upsets.
A lot of upsets, I mean,
I
not
think
completely.
Empire being where they are right now, no surprise at all. They were probably, them and Asus Polar, the 2 most consistent teams coming in. But yeah, as far as this match, Fire's win earlier against Hellraisers, there's been a fair share of upsets throughout this Starladder Season 11.
So that second game, first Rasta pick of the tournament. Merlini, talk to us about that hero a little bit and his current state in this meta.
He's decent. He's just weak in some situations, but when you have a lot of pressure, like the PA constantly like threatening a kill on the Zeus, and then the Wisp Bristle, who had their hands completely occupied, or Na'Vi had their hands completely occupied with them. It's nice. He was able to just safe lane pull. He was able to move around the map. Got a kill on Dendi. Jug got his mask of Morbid Mask, and then went into the jungle, and he was able to pick up his level 6 and just do whatever he wanted. When you have that much space created, I guess any support is viable, but at the same time, it plays very well into MVP Phoenix because they need to be able to take down towers early.
Right.
He's a forgotten hero. Really good for Roshan, although they never needed the wards for those.
Yeah. Also interesting seeing the Wisp Bristleback, but on opposite teams with opposite results.
I think Na'Vi, the safe lane Bristleback Wisp is just not as scary if you can survive the mid game against it. If you survive the mid game against it, and MVP had an amazing mid game with the Viper, you do fine. The problem is the Wisp Bristleback in the off lane, you beat tri lanes if executed well. It's not like a guaranteed, oh, you do a Wisp Bristleback and you win the tri lane, but as it happened there, they destroyed the supports. They got kill after kill. March just went ballistic, and it forced Na'Vi to keep their supports here. They couldn't rotate, and meanwhile, Jug is dominating the safe lane. QO somehow solo killed Dendi. I almost want to go back and see what happened there. He did get a bit of an edge with the Shadow Shaman gank, but then he got a second solo kill on him later in the game. So QO still playing out of his mind, but I'd say he's the MVP for this series, but it definitely is MVP. The rest of their team has stepped up their game a lot since previous days.
Oh, yeah. Undoubtedly. If that replays up, we could possibly just take a look at that. We'll see. Maybe it'll pop up while we're still doing our panel here. Sometimes it's pretty quick. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. So, all right. Coming up next, loser bracket round 3. And that's going to be Virtus Pro Polar, Asus Polar versus now MVP Phoenix. Na'Vi making a somewhat early exodus as well, on point with Fire. This next match is going to be explosive. And after seeing MVP Phoenix there, frankly, I'm not really sure what to expect.
Well, I mean, day 1 was all Asus Polar, so I mean, MVP day 2 and 3 is much different than day 1, though. They seem to have found their spark. They're well oiled. They're winning all their lanes. They're outdrafting their opponents. It's completely different, and I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, we're not going to see MVP try the same drafts, the counterpick drafts they did on day 1. So I think this rematch is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
They've versed the team once. They kind of know what Asus Polar may try to do against them, and they're going to adapt. They've already shown they can adapt here. And well,
yeah, I feel like that first series of MVP versus Asus is like something we should almost forget about in terms of analysis coming into this next best of 3, because they said publicly that, you know, our strategy was we're going to try to counterpick them, not let them get in their comfort zone, but that in turn pulled them out of their comfort zone, and Asus Polar kind of adapted a little better.
And now we need to see how that could work against a team like Polar, where it feels like Polar could put together just really good drafts and execute very nicely, like we saw earlier against Fire. Where they tend to be a bit weaker is where like a team like Ninjas in Pajamas just kind of bull rushed and just kind of very aggressive. MVP, do they fit that kind of profile though? Are they going to have those kind of answers? Are they going to be able to put Polar in an uncomfortable position where they can take control?
I feel like MVP often pick weak lanes. Like, I mean, the stat where they give up more, they get first blood less than any other team in the tournament, so they're much more focused on the mid game. And that's where ASUS Polar may look to dominate the laning stage, but whether they can actually do that.
This series was different, though. They had the Wisp Bristle and the off lane.
Yeah, that game too, absolutely not. They had very big lanes.
But at the same time, Na'Vi, I don't think, responded appropriately to that. Firstly, I don't know if they expected the Wisp Bristle off lane because the Starladder pick is not that great versus it. I think what they should have done is get a more self-sufficient hero, not a melee, and not someone who's going to die to the Wisp Bristle, and then they can rotate with their supports to kill the very vulnerable PA on the top lane to try and find the Rasta, who is just absurdly weak in the early game. So it wasn't exactly the right response from them. And that is why MVP won the lane so badly. But at the same time, MVP with the Axe dual lane in the first game, the safe lane farmer isn't as safe as they normally feel.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had a thought and it just totally evaporated out of my head before I said it. So I just pulled an old man moment.
It's okay. I have those moments all the time.
It happens to the best of us, I guess. So I totally lost it. That's really unfortunate. So coming up in the next series, I guess we'll have a break. It's probably going to be another long break. Still, the day of 2-0s continues. I still can't get over. We've had one best of 3 go 3 games, and it was just that NIP series we saw on day 1.
Yeah, I'm trying to be upstairs taking a decent break, guys.
Yeah. Trying to take a nap, and this is what's happening. No,
talk to Na'Vi. Talk to the teams. Talk to MVP Phoenix. Those guys.
Well, first things first, I think we should give props to Na'Vi. They did make their way, somewhat through the bracket. This is a team that originally was not supposed to be a part of Starladder. They were a late replacement, so maybe they weren't as up to snuff with making sure they had the scrim game in and being well prepped, mentally maybe to come into this one. Now they get to walk away with a little bit of money. And we'll just have to see where Na'Vi look to take it from here. I believe even Light of Heaven just put out a tweet saying, if MVP win, I'm going to go back to being a professional player.
Oh,
so
my.
I don't know if everyone wants to. I don't know if anyone wants to really go into that or not, but that is something he put out there. Well,
the Swedish caster Drejich had I don't know if you saw on Reddit earlier, but he said something. If NIP makes it to the winners finals, then he was going to take a bath in the snow, and he stripped down and rolled around in the Swedish snow.
Well, I feel like that's more of like a celebrate that they won. Whereas with lost Swede, I feel like it's more like if Na'Vi are going to start losing now, then like they need it's basically saying they need to change something. Like there's something wrong with this team. I feel like at least that's what I try and read from that. It's like, well,
yeah, maybe so.
It feels like I need to go back to playing. And
an incognito flame.
Yeah. It's like it wasn't working with me, but this is working even worse, maybe. But
yeah. Okay.
This Na'Vi team is struggling. That's for sure.
Yeah. MVP Phoenix, the team to keep an eye out for. So that'll be coming up next. And our final best of 3 tonight will be Team Empire versus Ninjas in Pajamas. That'll be the winner bracket finals. So the loser of that will be facing off against the winner of MVP Phoenix versus Virtus Pro Polar. Man, these storylines really heating up. If MVP can take out Aces Polar here, I got to stop calling him Virtus Pro. It's God, the old habits die hard. But talk about a crazy storyline here, going down in the first round and. They're clawing their way back. Very exciting.
Imagine if we get to a Ninjas in Pajamas MVP grand final. Who would have saw that coming?
Yeah, it's like you look at this and you're like, there's going to be CIS teams first, second, third. Empire, ASUS Polar, Na'Vi, or Hellraise. Like Hellraisers, everyone obviously had high expectations of because of their DAC performance. Playing with the stand-in for them and Power Rangers definitely hurt, but
yeah,
it's been a crazy Starladder. I got to say,
it really has.
It's out. Far blown away my expectations. It's been crazy Dota.
And you know what the best part is? The craziness continues. We're at the halfway point today, guys. We've got 2 more best of 3s coming, and then tomorrow we'll be settling things down with the finals, and we'll crown that one winner. But we're going to have a break, and come on back because we've got plenty more Dota 2 coming your way here at the Starladder Season 11 LAN Finals.
esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.